Good Monday morning.
Good Monday morning. October the 20th.
October is flying by. Welcome to Extol Unfiltered, caffeinated by NWSB. I'm Angie Fenton. This is Ben Peine.
Meteorologist Ben Peine here.
I know, that's like your full name, meteorologist.
I know, it's kind of like
Meteorologist
I've identified
Ben
with that.
I love that. Well, Ben, today we actually have, I think we can go ahead and call it a special edition of Extol Unfiltered.
We got our pink out.
We do have our pink out going on. We're going to share our personal connections to the disease, me as a fighter and Ben as somebody whose loved one is a survivor.
Yeah.
Is that the right word for
Yep.
Diana?
Yep.
And we'll talk about that. But then also we could use your stories as well. And we also will talk about in just a moment a giveaway. We've got a great giveaway that we are going to ask if you know somebody who is actively fighting breast cancer, and that's men. I actually have got to know a man with breast cancer, but men and women, and as well as somebody who's a survivor. Drop their name in the comments, and then in 2 weeks, what is that, November 3rd?
November 3rd, yep. Right after the time change.
Right after the time change, then we will give that gift away, and we'll share more about that gift.
I know a lot of you hop on a little bit later in the show, so we'll repeat some of this information a little bit later too.
We'll continue repeating it. But I love the giveaway. It includes a $150 gift certificate to the fair. Brand new, wonderful, wonderful restaurant in New Albany.
What are the rules again? Drop it in the comments.
Just drop a name, and then that'll be randomly generated, and we're just going to randomly pick a winner there.
All right.
And then that also includes a gift bag of all kinds of goodies, including the world's softest socks. That's exactly what their title is. And I can tell you, as somebody who went through chemo,
it's some good smelling soap.
They were good, some good smelling soap. There's some just really cool things in here, as well as a $25 gift card courtesy of Regalo as well. So the package is about $250, $275 worth of
Nice.
items.
Very good.
So,
exciting. Our first giveaway on the show.
Our first
Good morning to
giveaway.
Erica, by the way.
Hi, Erica. Good morning from Charlestown. She says, well, Ben, this weather, I have to be honest with you, this is my favorite, absolute favorite. We're going to take a look outside.
Now it is. The weekend was kind of, well, we got a lot of the rain during the overnight, and then Sunday was just kind of nasty. We had like 30-mile-an-hour winds and some drizzle and stuff like that, but it did clear out late in the day, and it cleared out perfectly now. Beautiful blue sky out there. Really refreshing air, too, with the really low humidity, and pretty chilly, too. Saw a low down to 38 in Hodgenville, Kentucky, from Orlean, who always watches the show. But most areas in the 40s early this morning. But we're going to recover nicely this afternoon with the south breeze and sunshine up to about 68 later this afternoon. There's a mostly dry front that'll move through overnight tonight, early tomorrow morning. At best, maybe a few sprinkles from that. Okay. So we'll just keep Tuesday mainly dry here for us. But it is going to be breezier tomorrow. Some of the wind gusts could be back up around 30 miles per hour for Tuesday afternoon. And then lower 60s, a bit cooler Wednesday, Thursday. And down to the 30s, by the way, Wednesday night. So that'll be our chilliest night we've had so far. Could see some frosty areas Thursday and Friday mornings. And then, unfortunately, some rain chances return for this weekend. Big weekend. We've got IUS Fest. At IU Southeast.
We sure do.
But it's indoor too if they need to go inside.
That's the best part.
Yeah. It's rain or shine out there at IUS Fest. And I'm sure other festivals happening as well. And last weekend, big time for sports around here. U of L won, beat Miami, so they're ranked now 19th. IU won, undefeated, so they're ranked number 2 in the nation. Is that it? Who else? Colts won.
How'd Kentucky do?
Kentucky lost. Kentucky's not having the best season.
So Todd Prince, who's sitting right here, said that they lost. Jason Applegate, who's in the house.
Notre Dame won, too.
Ooh, Notre Dame.
It's a big time for Indiana sports right now. The Pacers went to the finals earlier this year.
It's definitely a big time, and I should get the 7-day forecast out of the way. So Todd, who is over here in the corner, is telling us Kentucky did not do very well. Sorry, Jason Applegate. They went to overtime. Forgive me for that. I did not watch. They went to overtime, but they lost. Okay.
But the big win, of course, was U of L.
Yeah, that was a huge win. All right, we're jumping on here to comments right now. Pam Stalling says, awesome. Hi, Ben and Angie. How do we, Pam, Salsaritas, how do we not know you?
Good morning, Pam.
Pam, oh, celebrating Breast Cancer Awareness Week. Love you. Love you too. No, of course we remember. If you're just jumping on with us or you're catching us in the replay, I'm Angie Fenton. This is Meteorologist Ben Peine, and this is Extol Unfiltered, caffeinated by NWSB. And as you can tell, it's all things breast cancer awareness today. In fact, we're doing a great giveaway. In this bag is about $250, $275 worth of items, including a $150 gift certificate to the fair, which is downtown New Albany. Amazing new restaurant. I mean, hands down, probably
I still got to try
favorite.
it, yeah. Got to get a date night
My
there.
favorite, as well as a bunch of goodies from Regalo and also a gift card courtesy of them. And what we're doing is we want to give that to a breast cancer survivor or fighter, someone who is newer to the awful disease that it is. But we want you just to drop their name in the comments, and then we're going to pull all those and randomly generate one winner, and we'll name them. I can't even say November. Oh, November 3rd.
I know, it's coming quick.
It is coming quick. It's coming very quick. Well, speaking of coming very quick, I'm going to start with my weekend, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
I did the opposite of
Wait,
very
was
quick.
it? What? Yeah, I was going to say, was it quick?
Opposite, Ben. So my daughter Olive had a soccer game, and we thought, because she and her teammates they're so funny. They're 9, and they're not as quick in the morning. So we thought, we'll do a 5K. One of my dear friends, Lauren Broderick, is the executive director of CASA of Floyd County. It was Color Me CASA 5K. And one of my other dear friends, Jess Staten, and I said, let's do a walk and talk. So
it was a Saturday morning?
Saturday morning, the whole family came out.
Nice.
And there is Jason and Olive and me.
And where was this?
And this was at Community Park,
Okay.
Stampede in Community Park. Jess and I are in the middle, and then on the end, there's our friend Lauren, the executive director of CASA. And so I just have to tell you, so Jess and I walked to my car to put a couple things away, and then we started the race a few minutes. I mean, literally probably 3 minutes, maybe a little bit more than that behind everybody else. And we're not slow, but it was a walk and talk.
Yeah.
This is an awesome medal. Actually, I'll do this. Look at that
It's a
medal.
big one.
Like, that is hardcore. That's a real medal. And Jess and I came in last.
I've never known anybody to come in last.
Dead last. Like,
You're the first I've ever met.
dead last. We're not quite sure. Did we
Nothing
go
wrong
an
with
extra lap? Because I'm telling you, I mean, we were not there to win, but we didn't crawl. We did not crawl.
Right.
But came in dead last. It was an amazing time. Face painting and tie-dyed shirts. Olive kept lapping us. Jason was hoofing it out there. So
Attaboy.
it was a good time. It was a really good time. What about you? How was your weekend?
And we got Ginger here.
I know, Jen's just snuck in.
My wife and I did a little bit of choring. We took down the cheap backyard pool, and then we stacked some wood. I've got to split some more wood. And then we just watched football and just hung out. Had a bonfire Friday night, and then Saturday we sat on the back deck and watched U of L football and then Notre Dame football.
Okay, so here's something I learned about Ben, and I'm not going to try to explain it, so I'll ask you. So one of the things, like, I've tried so hard not to turn the heat on. And so I was asking you, how do you heat your house? It's not just wood.
It's an electric heat pump, and then below 32 degrees, propane will kick on if it goes into emergency mode. But to avoid to spend money on propane, we heat with our wood stove. So mostly the wood stove. So that's why I'm cutting wood and stuff like that. And this is Ginger, by the way.
Yeah, this is Ginger, one of 2 cats we've adopted who lives in the vicinity here. And for whatever reason, they love the one person who has a cat allergy, and they love Ben.
I don't have the cat allergy, but Todd does over here.
Todd does. I know. Todd definitely.
I've got a ginger cat at home, too.
Oh.
Orange cat. Orange tabby or whatever they're called.
So she was returned 4 different times, and we promised her this is the last stop. This is the last stop for sure. Well, Ben, let's head to our event of the week presented by Rasmussen Chiropractic, and this is one where you'll be there. IUS
Fest. So this Saturday, my wife's birthday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So I'll be out there with the NWSB folks. So IUS Fest presented by NWSB. And you can see all the things that are going to be happening. Trunk or treat, touch a truck, pumpkin painting. There's got educational play booths as well for the parents. Some beer, wine out there with the beer wine tent. The student band, the volleyball game, the ladies volleyball team, they are doing great. So a lot happening at IU Southeast.
That's right. And that is presented by NWSB. And then also, don't forget, this is coming up. And I mean, this is going to be quite the night. Save the date, 31st Annual Rotary Community Toast and Benefit Banquet honoring the one and only Dan Christiani. And that is November 7th at 5:30. The proceeds are benefiting St. Elizabeth Catholic Charities and Prosser Career Education Center's Heavy Highway Program. And I am honored that he asked that I would MC that.
That is awesome.
I watched a video this morning that our own Colin Wood put together for him, and there's snippets of Dan throughout the years. I'm sitting there drinking my coffee, just doing this. He is such a special
Made a big impact on Southern Indiana. No doubt about that.
He has. And I love the Rotary's toast because, and his name's Christian Evans. Christian Evans used to be the executive director of the Building Development and Association of Southern Indiana. And he was very big on honor people while they are here to receive the honor. And I mean, whatever their age. And I just love that. Absolutely love that.
And Hubers has an event this Wednesday too, in the morning.
Oh gosh, yes. We're headed to Hubers as a team. Governor Mitch Daniels, once a governor, always a governor. I learned that. Although he doesn't care if you call him governor, if you call him Mitch, but I'll be conducting a Q&A for Leadership Southern Indiana with Governor Daniels.
It's a big week.
It is a big week. I'm also walking in the Dope to Hope show benefiting Thrive. And so I'll be sending out a few text messages coming soon to friends for that last minute fundraising push for Thrive. The rehearsal is Wednesday and then walking in the show is on Thursday.
Wow, it is a busy week. What's going on in your neighborhood?
We want to know. Weigh in. You can tell that we're all about pink, and in a moment we're going to jump in and get into breast cancer awareness and sharing some stories. And we're asking that you share the name of somebody who is a fighter or survivor of breast cancer. And coming up November 3rd, we're going to give away, there's about $250, $275 worth of items in here, including a $150 gift card to the fair and a $25 gift card courtesy of Regalo, as well as a bunch of really cool items from Regalo that we're going to give away randomly. So whether you're catching us live or on the replay, put those names in there.
Put the name in the comments.
Love to see them. And speaking of comments, let's jump over here. Ooh, one of my favorites, and I'm allowed to say she's a survivor, but she is a fighter and a survivor. And she says, how cool, Pink Edition, Jonna Webb at Ivy Tech with an amazing fighter and survivor. Thank you for being an inspiration to me. I appreciate Pretty Lady. Let me tell you, if you didn't see Jonna Webb's story in the News and Tribune, you need to grab it. Like, talk about somebody who is just, I mean, we say like radical joy and kindness. And I mean, she just is one of those people who's magnetic. And going through her own fight, sharing that, just inspiring.
Radical joy, I like that.
I love that. So, Eric, great jacket, Angie.
What is AML?
Thank you. So, I will pull up my shot right there so you can see this. And Ben is being a little facetious because he actually knows, but I'm going to share this with you. So today is the 11th annual AML Pink Out. And so as soon as this is over, we're going to meet at Honey Baked Ham. And then we are going to jump on the road and go to the different locations where AML crews are wearing their pink, as well as they're going to enjoy lunch. But this is their way of saying we support you.
How about that?
And
yeah, that's cool.
I'm so excited to be able to do that. So Todd Prinz, who's our videographer, and Ian Coleman, our photographer, is going to jump out up here.
Way to go, AML. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
We love that. But again, we don't see any names in the comments quite yet, but if you could put your own name in there as well. If you are a breast cancer survivor or fighter, we want to see your name in there because we're going to give
or know somebody
know somebody. Tag somebody, don't tag them, but we want to know, and we also want to hear your stories as well. So please comment, and also if you just want to tell us where you're watching from.
Yeah, for sure. Just drop it a good morning. Yep.
We'd love to see that too. Now, Ben, you're wearing pink as well, and you have a family member who's gone through the
and she might be watching. Yeah, my stepmom Diana was diagnosed in early 2023, so almost 3 years ago, I guess, coming up to 2026. So there she is, looking beautiful in the pink there.
She does look beautiful.
And that's my dad, David Peine, right there in the middle. So that was us at the Oaks Survivor Parade 2024, Oaks Day. So she got to walk in that, and what a celebration after being cleared by doctors. And she said this was one of the best days of her life when she got to go in that parade and be right there at the finish line and watching the races. I mean, it was the weather was awesome, so it was a great day out there. And I talked to Diana yesterday. Her main point was, after that experience and being told by the doctors that they probably wouldn't have found it because I think it was kind of deeper into the tissue, that get the 3D mammogram, the 3D imaging. And a lot of times that's not covered by insurance, but see if there's grants that are available to you where you can get that 3D mammogram, because that apparently can find things that they said that they may have not have found that a year or two later. So it could have gotten worse and worse. So that was her big message. And she also said that, and my dad said, and we've talked about this before too, you realize who's there for you. And some people come out of the woodwork you weren't even thinking about and give you that encouragement to get through it. So
and say no if this is not comfortable when you say that. So, and you'll hear me, and I'll share some of my story in just a minute. Erica has weighed in and said, my cousin Wendy is a survivor. Erica, we hope that Wendy is doing well and continues to do well. We appreciate that. If you know someone who's a breast cancer survivor or fighter, put their name in the comments and they'll be entered to win a great prize package that we'll share about in just a minute. But it was something like 60% of people who go through cancer in general lose family and friends. And is that kind of...
I think for her, it was the opposite. Like, she got a lot of prayers, a lot of support, and it was great from what I've heard from my dad and Diana. And but obviously, when you hear about it, when she tells us, it hits your heart. It sucks. Yeah. Cancer sucks. We all know that. And unfortunately, we went through a big tragedy 20 years ago. My wife's mom passed away, Beth Bell. So that was... she had ovarian cancer that spread and other places like that. And so then you get another scare like this, and it brings up the past. So
that's a really hard one. I mean, that's the thing I think I've learned more than anything, is that it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what shape you're in. Cancer does not discriminate, and it unleashes a flood of emotions and thoughts and things that I don't think you are prepared for, and
you're not
also the
prepared
people
for
who are in your orbit.
And my wife was 25 when she lost her mom, and her mom was only in her early 50s. So
that's hard.
Yeah, but of course, you went through it.
I did.
You know all too well about all this.
Alice Young says, good morning to you, Alice. If you are joining us here on Extol Unfiltered, caffeinated by NWSB, Ben and I are doing our own version of a pink out before I head out with AML Construction on their pink out. And we're just asking, if you know a fighter or a breast cancer survivor, put their name in the comments. And on November 3rd, we will announce the winner of this prize package that includes a $150 gift card to the fair in downtown New Albany. Oh, that, by the way, the fair is, I mean, I say it's high end, but also you can wear what you want. They have all different price points. It's the first place that I ate out and actually ate a meal in since my fight with breast cancer. Wow. I went to, I went somewhere for Easter. I'm blanking on the name, and I didn't eat anything. I'm all smiles in the pictures, but I felt horrid. But literally, and guess what I ordered at the fair? I ordered the most expensive entree, the
You should
steak,
do.
and it was
Delicious.
I mean, I was there with one of my best friends and her husband and their son and my daughter and Jason, and I just ate with a smile. Just if you can hear that little sound.
Enjoyed to your fullest.
Oh,
That's
I
Elvira
did.
over
That's
there.
Elvira. Let's pull up another comment. Honey, you can. I wish you could see this. It's so good.
The cats are wanting attention.
We've
this
got
morning.
cat wrangling going on here. But Anna Emily Wald-Cutter says, oh, I'm a breast cancer survivor diagnosed. Oh my good.
What's up with the year 2023?
12/23/23. If it's Anna or Anna, I'm not sure which one, but would love, or Anna Emily, would love to know how you're doing. We were diagnosed almost about the same time. I was December 18th, 2023.
Oh, wow.
Love to know how you're doing. Denise Romney is weighing in there. And I think she's referring, when she says that's so nice, I think she's referring to the fact that we want to hear from you, whether you have a survivor story, you know someone, or someone who's actively fighting breast cancer.
I think it's like all of us know.
Right?
Have been impacted in some way.
And I had no idea how many people in actuality, but we're giving away a great gift package that we'll talk about. But Ben, so I would have to preface this by saying my story is an anomaly. And that's one thing that I want to make extremely clear. It's very, very, very rare for this to happen because I don't want people to be scared of this. But it also checks out with how my treatment and everything, it was like, oh, this probably won't happen. And then it would happen to me. But I had
Worst case scenarios.
Some, yes.
To a point.
To a point, but then some real big blessings in there. But I almost punted my mammogram. You know, we're too busy, right? I mean, do you get your yearly? Are you good about that?
I was good about it. And then I went through a lot of health issues in 2023 again.
Gosh.
Weird year.
I might want to punt that year out of here.
And then I need to get back.
That's, well, we had organized this business luncheon, and what's funny is I didn't know it at the time, but I probably was sick at the time and had that. But I wasn't going to do it, and then finally I was like, oh, okay, I'll just go and get the mammogram. I got flagged. And so then ultimately it led to a biopsy, which, you know, it's a little unnerving. I kept it very quiet. Only a very small group of people knew. And then the biopsy results came back. All benign. All of them. All the specimens were benign. I did not have breast cancer. And look at this picture. So December 12th of 2023, I was given a choice where I could keep whatever that little mass was, and it wasn't cancer, according to the biopsy, or I could have it out. I wanted it out. There's just something in me that said, I want it out.
Yeah.
I want it out. And so December 12th, 2023, that's me in my jammies in the hospital bed, getting ready to get that lump right out. And then I am sitting here at Extol, and I was just I'm alone in the office. I remember this. I was on the phone with a friend, and my chart dinged. I try not to be one of those on my computer talking on my phone, but I saw that it was my chart, and I looked at it, and I started kind of babbling. And so Jess, I just said, hey, Jess, I know I'm kind of sounding like a little nutty here, but I have cancer.
Oh.
And it just dropped, invasive ductal carcinoma.
6 days later, after being so
well, the interesting
happy about
part is I never took like a picture, like I just didn't that day, except this one. I found this in my phone. So December 18th, 2023, I have cancer. I know that I have cancer. That's some of our then Extol team. And I didn't tell anybody, including my husband. I didn't tell anybody other than Jess. Jess was the only person other than doctors who knew.
Well, when you're shocked like that, I'm just guessing that you want to kind of process this a little bit.
I did.
Before, like.
But you know what I did that day? I just worked. There were no tears. It wasn't like a movie scene. I have cancer. okay, I've got to work. But I wanted to know what happens next. So I had a biopsy. It was benign. Then this lump. So I met with the surgeon and he said, I know, right? Like this wasn't supposed to happen. But now I have to go back in to see if it has spread to your lymph nodes. So this is surgery number 2.
Yeah.
So I learned on Monday, 1 week from Christmas, December 18th, 2023, I meet with the surgeon 2 days later on the 20th. I still haven't told my family because I know it is going to rock them. And it's important to note, Jason, my husband, was married before, and his first wife, she was diagnosed with lymphoma and died of lymphoma 3 years, 3.5, 4 years before I met him, and died, should not have, died 23 days before her 30th birthday. And so I knew I was about to rock their world and wasn't really prepared to do that. But so it was the Thursday before my surgeon got me in on Friday before Christmas, to go back in and check out the lymph nodes, make sure had it spread. And Jason kept telling me he wanted me to bring our daughter. He was going out of town for an interview for Extol, and he wanted me to bring our daughter to this annual Christmas party that's at the Grand, and he kept pushing me. And I finally just said, and I remember this, he's sitting in the closet, and I just said, I don't know that I'm going to feel like going to the Christmas party tonight because I have cancer. And he just started sweating profusely. And I said, and at this point he was running for a political office, and I just was very matter of fact, and I just said, we are going to run the race together. You're going to run your race. Here comes 2024. And here goes mine, and that's it. And I say it's almost like putting on that hat and I'm just going to keep going.
Like they say, fighting a battle.
That's what we did. And so ultimately we had to tell our daughter. And I think that was probably one of the hardest things, was telling our daughter, because we knew it was going to rock everything. And it's Christmas weekend of all things. And so I'm waiting all weekend. It's the holiday. So I have no idea at this point, do I, quote, just have breast cancer, or do I have breast cancer that has spread, which is a much different issue. And so it was hard. That was a hard, hard holiday. But ultimately what we found out was it had not spread, but what I did have was called HER2 positive. And so the sizing and all of that, it was around a kind of almost a stage 2, which some people will know what that means, but I was HER2 positive. And this is what that means. Had I punted that mammogram and decided I'm going to wait an entire year and not have a mammogram, very often there are not symptoms, unless maybe you feel something or what have you. I may not be here having that conversation with you. So while it was early stage, it was also aggressive. HER2 positive cancer grows. Now, there are many other variations of breast cancer that are much harder to treat and combat. But what I found out then is that meant that, and I've had it taken out since then, but I've got, you can see sort of the scar still there, but they were going to put the chemo port in, which meant, and forgive my language, I'm just going to share it. A breast cancer survivor told me that means they're going to kick your ass.
For sure.
And that kind of just shook me a little bit. That just,
for about a year, right?
It definitely did. I'm going to jump into the comments here. We're asking if you know someone who's a breast cancer fighter or survivor. I mean, Ben, we want to give away an awesome package here. November 3rd, we have Sheila Franklin. I'll let you, can you read that one?
Good morning, Ben and Angie. Good morning, Sheila.
Good morning, Sheila. It's a pink out here. We're sharing what our connections are to breast cancer during this Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but also asking that if you know a survivor or a fighter, please put their name in the comments. If it's you, please put your name in the comments. We'd love to hear from you, hear how you're doing, but you automatically get entered to win this awesome prize package, which we'll go into again.
And each battle is different, physically, mentally.
Every
like
battle, yes.
my stepmom Diana, she, I don't know the type of it was, but had the surgery, had radiation, and then the hormone block pill. One of those didn't react very well. She felt sick on it. Went on another one. She could tolerate that one, but still did her daily walks, and so has been free from that. And then she got tested for like 80 something different markers, and all those were 0. So that was good news.
I was kind of stunned when we tested. I'm adopted, so I have some variations of what I do know and a lot of what I don't know, but I have 0 predisposition for cancer of any kind, at least what is evident genetically through the tests that I was given. And so, and I had given up alcohol. Oh gosh, 4 years, 3 years before that, I had gone vegan and then had turned it into more
trying to do all the right things.
I mean, and one of the things that I wonder, I mean, again, like I was doing everything right physically, like right. Cancer doesn't care.
Right.
It just does not care. Jumping into the comments, I'll let you take this one.
Tina Riley. Hey, Bill Riley. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for dropping in the comments.
And Ben, for those who are just jumping on or catching us in the replay, explain what that means, what we're asking people to do.
So drop it in the comments if you know somebody that has fought cancer or has survived cancer. It can be, family member, friend, maybe it's you. And then we've got the big giveaway, November 3rd.
Yes, we'll give that away live on Extol Unfiltered. I'm pulling up some of these. This was a little hard yesterday when I was pulling up pictures because it kind of jogs you through the memory. But I do love that we've got Ginge over there who's very inappropriate right now, who's a little bit of our comic relief, which I'll tell you, comic relief while you're battling cancer is imperative. So that photo I shared publicly, and I want to tell you why I did that coming up in just a second. But then this is NWSB. Extol Unfiltered is caffeinated by NWSB, longtime client of ours. And I remember we met with them, and that is right in the back, I guess on the, what do you call that? The left side. That is CEO Pat Daly. That's Carrie Ann Webb, who's one of, my closest go-tos with NWSB. There's me and all that hair. And then there's Casey Shireman, who is just a rock star, and then president, and she's got a title as long as our couch. And then there's NWSB president Sid Whitlock, and they embraced me like nobody's business. And I'm so grateful.
Good to have partners like that.
Oh, and we had so many. Dan Christiani Excavating, they were absolutely.
When was that picture?
That was early 24. So I didn't start. So I had my chemo port inserted. Lovely post photo there. Port insertion day. And then my daughter Olive, who's grown a full head by then. And that was after the port insertion. Ollie had developed some facial and body tics after being bullied by a family member, something completely unrelated. And then with my cancer journey, they exacerbated. Yeah. Like when she saw me after the port, I had a very difficult time with that surgery because I don't have a lot on top. And they say sometimes that's rougher. I couldn't sit up by myself for 30 hours. And I remember Olive walked into my bedroom. She'd been with her godparents and just started having, like, it looked like a seizure, but they were just massive tics, facial tics, body tics. And then I will tell you what, that little girl was, and I hate this because she was 8, but she is the person who was closest to me going through this because we spent the most time together. I had my, so January 24 is when I actually started treatment. And I won't go into it, but we had a host of issues with insurance connecting. And so I shut it down. I remember being on the phone and I got treated at Baptist Health Floyd. They were amazing. And you have a nurse navigator who helped, and her name was Jill. And I said, Jill, I would rather die than bankrupt my husband and my daughter. And I meant it. I meant it. I am not doing this until insurance kicks in. And then ultimately,
That's awful.
it did. But
but other people that go through that too. I mean,
the stories.
like we're talking about my stepmom recommending the 3D mammogram, which may or may not be covered, but like absolutely something people should do.
And to treat it early, do you know the cost as opposed to treating it with chemo and radiation and immunotherapy? I mean, all of that expense. Why would you not want to pay for things to treat it early? Make it make sense.
Right.
Make it make sense. But on my first day of chemo, you can see my little tears there. Those are happy tears. I walked in, and it was January 17th, walked in, and Dan Christiani Excavating had put balloons in my room, and it said, Angie, you've got this. No one fights alone. And I was just so touched. But then you can see shortly thereafter, I started losing hair, but I kept working. So I was one of those. I remember my oncologist, Dr. Sadhu, he was so awesome. But he was like, you will probably, because you learn all these horrible side effects, you probably won't lose your hair. The nurses, they were phenomenal. They were like, girlfriend, you're probably going to lose your hair.
Dang it.
Like, he's very optimistic, but.
Yeah, be prepared.
And I did. And I'll show you a bald picture in just a minute. I want to jump into the comments here. I'll let you take this one, Ben.
Betty Keller LaHue, good morning. Thanks for tuning in this morning.
It's a pink out.
I was going to take a sip, but I think I've got like a ginger hair in here.
I was going to say you have a cat hair.
I think I got it out, though.
I love that Ginger's right there with you. Just a little extra flavoring.
Yeah.
This is Extol Unfiltered, caffeinated by NWSB. Ben and I are in pink. I'm headed out with AML Construction over there shortly because it is their 11th annual pink out, and my team, we've got some members who are going to cover it. We've got about $250, $275 worth of goodies. So if you know a breast cancer fighter or survivor, drop their name in the comments. They are automatically going to be entered into a giveaway. There's a $150 gift card to the fair in downtown New Albany. Oh, the food, I'm telling you.
And while you're at it, like, subscribe, we appreciate that. Follow, hit those buttons on Facebook or YouTube, we appreciate that.
For sure, and lots of goodies from Regalo as well. And thanks to Regalo for also donating a gift card that goes in there. But so you and I talked at the beginning of this, Diana, your stepmom, who is a breast cancer survivor. So she was felt surrounded by family and friends.
Yeah, she felt the positivity of prayer and all that through friends and family. Now I was going to ask you this, not to fast forward through it, but percentage-wise, physical battle, mental battle, because you got both at play here.
So for me, because I had a lot of reactions, like today, you can see I have a necklace on that says Mom. It's one of my favorites. I couldn't put this on by myself today. I had neuropathy, and I still have, that's some of the side effects. My vision has been affected. There was a time when my balance had been severely affected from the treatment. I lost all of my hair. I was shiny bald, and trying to, keep that like full of hope. But as far as physical versus mental, and I mean, I could keep going, like the GI issues, things we don't even need to go through on here. There were a lot of physical things that I had issues with, but the mental battle, 100%. Is here. You said really? Diana walked.
Well, you got a different situation too. You're more in the public eye.
Sure.
Than my stepmom. So I just feel like you're getting a lot different reaction in different ways than she probably did.
I will say this, and I'm going to try to say this, keep blinking my eyes because I am trying not to like melt my face off, but I am going to say this. Okay, quick story. So I showed that picture just a moment ago where my first chemo day, and then my birthday, by the way, was 3 days later. I started losing hair, and I was like, okay, I had, my faith is everything. And I was like, okay, I have a great sense of humor, but God, listen. But notice in the next one, I'm sitting at a meeting there and I am doing my damnedest to stay focused because what the chemo
like
does
a good distraction,
to your
probably.
brain, good distraction, but necessary.
Yeah.
I will just share this. Before my first chemo, I was supposed to chair an event for a nonprofit I loved and was a part of. And the executive director basically expressed that she didn't think I'd be able to do it. That hurt me to my soul, to my soul. My birthday, again, January 20th, is shared with my now 9-year-old daughter. That's our birthday. And so I'm on this, and thought that I'd have this distraction, like to help with the biggest fundraiser. I needed that. And so I handed it back over. And what I had told her, because she called a meeting at one of the times that I couldn't meet. Out of all the times I could, she specifically called it. And it was during what's called chemo education, where you basically learn, here are all the crappy things that might happen to you. It's not a pleasant 4 or 5 hours. But I said to her, you clipped my wings and I did not tell you I could fly. It hurt my feelings that you boxed me out of this meeting. And she told me, you're too sensitive. I wanted a shirt, this is where you get a little crass, that says, I'm not too sensitive, you're just an asshole. I did. Like, this is Extol Unfiltered. So I love Jesus, but I cuss a little. So that's the towel in mind. And I did. I wanted a shirt that said that. I still believe that. But in addition, before we got off the phone, this is what she said to me. Well, you're not going to resign, meaning resign from the board. I had never even thought of that. And I said, I didn't think of that. And she said, well, if I were you, I would pack up my husband, pack up my child, and focus on my health for the next year. I got off that phone and I resigned from that board.
Oh, man.
Hard.
So,
but
example of not the
But I will
best
tell
reaction.
you this, it was the best lesson because I was terrified. I was terrified that I was going to die from cancer and that this company that I have helped to build alongside my partner and with our team was going to die with me. And so what I realized is I have to show people that I am working with cancer. I have cancer. Cancer does not have me. And so that's when I started sharing because I was so fearful. People are just not going to pick us. They're not going to want to work with Extol because I have cancer. But we have this
you're worried about your
team.
life and your livelihood at the same time. So when that happens, like people have anxiety in regular life, but when you have that, when I had some health issues, I started to have ruminating thoughts that you just couldn't get rid of, and it messes up your sleep.
What did you do?
I read a couple books on like how to control your thoughts and make some habits and, you know, allow that thought to be there, but then try to get it to go away. It doesn't work all the time. But
you've got to get it out.
Yeah.
The person who I'm talking about knows who she is, and while we will, because here's one of the, I think, blessings of cancer, it allowed me to see who I want to allow in my circle. And I will tell you this, I am grateful to her because she taught me a really hard lesson. And that's that at the end of the day, nobody cares. People care, but they have to stay focused on their own lives too. And so this is up to me to walk that journey. This is up to me to keep Extol. This is up to me to fight for my life and to keep as much as I can protect my child. So I will thank her, although she will never be allowed back into my orbit. I'm somebody who is full of, unless she came, full of remorse, but I don't believe that that's in her heart. Let's pull up here.
Back to the ruminating thoughts really quickly. I did learn one tool, and I've talked to my daughter about this because she'll have anxious thoughts and stuff like that. But ask your thought 2 questions, and this has helped for me. Is this thought useful? And then the second question you ask the thought, how does it behave?
Yes.
So maybe you are thinking about something because you got to get something done or whatever. So maybe it is useful you're thinking about it, but how does it behave? How's that thought treating you?
Ooh, I like that, Ben.
Is it like
How is it
Is it
behaving?
punishing you, or is it like encouraging you? So, and if it's negative, then try to get rid of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
and it's easier said than done, but I really think that you can control your thoughts. I'll let you go ahead and read what Diana has. I love this.
There's my stepmom, Diana. Good morning. I still wear 2 bracelets that got me through treatment. My cross and one that says blank cancer. I think it's probably an F word. I don't even take them off to shower. So there you go.
I am with you. I am with you on that. My journey included, I mean, and I pulled this up. This is before I lost all my hair. My weekly routine, it turned into this. I hated the night before. I would scream, cry, only in the car. That's one thing I'm really proud of. My daughter never saw me melt down over what was happening, and neither did basically anybody. It was very rare if you saw me losing that. And I mean, I think maybe 2 people maybe saw that. Cry in the car, pack those bags, that suitcase I love and I hated at the same time. And then I would make breakfast in the morning. We would call it family breakfast. We'd pray, we'd eat, we'd talk together. I would drive Olive to school. I'd go spend 5, 6, 7 hours getting chemo.
Wow.
I would go for a walk around Community Park because it was easy. I didn't have to think. I'd pick up Olive and then home. And on the way home, I felt safe driving because I'm one of those, if I'm not safe, I'm not driving, especially with my most precious cargo. But as I got home, because you've got steroids and Benadryl and all of that stuff, I didn't get the tiredness from the Benadryl, but the steroids help mask things. And then I would get chemo stupid, is what I called it. You could feel that fog
yeah,
going down. But we just went through our days. Family breakfast with a side of chemo.
But I think that cry time is important too, because you've got to feel what's going on.
It was
or you're
so
going to
important.
pack it up inside. And
it was so important. So this was the killer though. So once I went through radiation, I start to grow a little bit of fuzz back. You see that? Even though I had a receding hairline, which was like, come on. You had to be patient. You can't tell because I have microblading. I have no eyebrows and I have 1 eyelash in that picture. 1 eyelash. Now the other picture, I've obviously grown back most of my hair in there. And
so would that be like around 2 summers ago?
No, this is, I mean, this time last year.
This time last year.
Yep. So 24. So this time last year, I mean, I didn't wear a wig today. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I was starting to grow it. But it was funny because it was like, this is the last part. The first part that started going, the last part to grow in. I'm like, I'm going to look like Bozo the Clown. That's what I am going to look like. Whatever. At that point, you just stop caring about it. Kathy Gravely says, sending encouragement to all those who are fighting. This is the funny thing. So I did have a big wake-up call. You see, I love when I hear like organizations and things reached out to people and all of that. You'd think that after all these years of, writing stories or featuring, that didn't happen. I think that there were a lot of people who perceived that I would have such a big response that they shouldn't say anything.
Or you have so much going on, I don't want to be
I don't want to be a burden.
Yeah.
Yes. And now I've been that person, be that burden.
Yeah.
It is better to have nothing to say and reach out than to say nothing at all. But I also had some people who were very close, both family and friends, who just radio silent. And instead of being bitter, I opted to love them from afar. And that has worked for me. Jonna Webb, we talked about at the very beginning, she and I are on the same page with that type of thing. You don't have to wish people ill ever, but you can love them from afar and know this isn't someone who I want in my life. But I also, so I got I'm high risk for recurrence. That was kind of a bummer to hear, but at the same time, they wanted me to keep my port in. And so I said, so you want me to keep the port in, so I just wait for cancer to come back. I reject that. That was the exact words. I just literally pushed back. I reject that. And so I got it taken out because we're not doing this again, Beth. We're not doing this again.
Good for you.
One last I'm going to pull up one last slide. I mean, so many blessings. Like when you said mental versus physical, the mental part, you just keep going. Mm-hmm. Very hard for so many of us to ask for help. Very hard to do that. And I encourage people to do so. I have a friend right now who's going through metastatic breast cancer, which means that it's spread. And she is like this funny and all of that. And she will start to talk about, I'll ask, how are you doing? And then she will start telling me, and then she always stops and she goes, but I don't mean to complain. We always feel like we have to, somebody else has it worse. Yes.
Right.
Yes, they do.
Mm-hmm.
But you are allowed to acknowledge and share what's going on with you. My journey isn't over. I will have an MRI coming up here pretty soon. And I think I'll breathe a sigh of relief now, because it'll have been 1 year since my last intravenous treatment.
Okay.
I'll breathe a sigh of relief after that MRI says what I believe it's going to say, which is no evidence of disease still. And
then how often are checkups after that?
Well, for me, because it's HER2 positive, it's every 6 months.
Okay.
And not an MRI every time, but mammograms, MRI, etc. But I wanted to share this one last thing. There are so many different blessings that came out of this. I mean, including going from a benign biopsy that was wrong to having a surgeon who was willing to take out this lump that wasn't cancer, that turned out to be not only cancerous, but early stage and aggressive. Had he said no, I would have listened.
Right.
But Dr. Armstrong, I even got to tell him, thank you. I believe you saved my life. But one of the many blessings that occurred, instead of not doing things, we went the opposite. I have adopted animals since, I mean, I can even remember, and always wanted golden retrievers. So we welcomed not one, but 2 golden retriever puppies. They're not quite 2 years old. That's Michael Pickle, who is the darker one laying down. He will be 2 in June of next year. And then Lola, who will be 2 in January.
Joining the pack?
Yes. And then that's my dad. That's my dad. So my dad left when I was 6. My parents got divorced, and in and out of my life. And then once I got pregnant with my daughter, I gave an ultimatum. Some of you can relate to this. And I said, either you're all in or you're not. And he couldn't be. So he had never met my daughter. I hadn't seen him. He sent an email right before Christmas that said, hey, Ange, it's your dad. Hope everyone's well. Merry Christmas, Dad. I wrote back, hi, Dad. Everybody's great. Merry Christmas. I have cancer. Ange, sent. And from that moment on, I got my dad back. And then got to see him in person. He got to meet his only granddaughter for the first time. And we wouldn't have made that connection had it not been for having cancer.
So a win, a blessing out of the whole...
A full blessing.
Yeah, that's
and
great.
So many others that we could just, I mean, spend hours talking about. But ultimately, I check myself when I start getting hot and bothered about the little things. And I just go, I beat cancer.
Right.
Hold up. Like, I can't sweat this. But I also, everything when I watch Olive, who was 8, I mean, and there were some moments when I truly thought, I don't know that I'm going to make it, that she witnessed, that I wish she wouldn't have witnessed.
Yeah.
That you just worry, did I damage my kid? And
yeah, you can't. I mean,
you feel the guilt and all of that, but she is a resilient little girl.
And she's going to be stronger for going through this with you.
Is.
Yeah.
She already
for
is.
Sure.
She had a recent experience where it was an athletic event, and she cried the whole way through it, even though she was positioned to be one of the top 3 and ended up not. And I asked her, Olive, if it hurts so much, why didn't you stop? And she said, because even when it hurts, we keep going, just like you, Mom.
There you go.
So,
yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Well, thanks for sharing for everybody what you've gone through, and people talking about it helps them relate.
Oh, it does. It does.
Yeah.
It helps. Like when I listen, like I'll hear stories and I just cling to other people's stories. But for mine, with Diana saying, get the 3D, for mine is don't punch your mammogram. If you're in the circle of somebody who is battling cancer of any kind, reaching out and saying, I don't know what to say, but I'm here, means everything.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're somebody who's battling and like me, you have a very hard time accepting help, do it. Do it. Allow somebody the blessing of being able to help you. Now, to wrap here on Extol Unfiltered, Caffeinated by NWSB, if you know someone, you're catching us in the replay or live right now for the last couple of moments here, then please drop, whether it's a fighter or survivor, drop that name in the comments, and we will be giving away what's in this package here. And that includes a $150 gift card to the fair in New Albany, the first place that I ate, and actually ate the whole meal because nausea was a thing for me. $150 gift card, a bunch of great goodies from Regalo, including a $25 gift card.
So just drop a name in the comments. Kathy Gravely, sending encouragement to all those who are fighting. Marissa Tolbert with a good morning to Miss Angie.
And that's Olive's cross-country coach.
Awesome.
Much love to you and Kathy. Kathy will end on your note there. Whatever you're doing with the rest of your week, we hope it's a great one. Thanks so much for joining us.
See ya.